We went down all the off-road with us. We did 60 miles of dirt, no issues with this van, and it's a 170.
170, right? And, the only big kid in the group here.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff, thanks for coming down to Baja. Been a good trip.
Absolutely.
All right.
Anytime.
Tell me about your van.
2019 Touareg 170, four-wheel drive with the RIP kit on it, and Touareg standard kind of build with all the goodies they throw in. 400 amp hour battery system and the hydronic heat and solar on the roof and everything you need.
You haven't struggled down here on the beach, huh?
No, it's been good. Yeah, we've been good. We're running other people's refrigerators in there.
You do a lot in Baja.
I do, mostly on the West Coast side though. So This is kind of cool to be on the, Sea of Cortez side, and it's my second trip down on this side, so I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I think I gave you and the guys from Touareg, you guys were down here like a month ago to this exact spot on the beach, and wasn't quite the same, right?
No, a little windier, and the drive-in was different. The trail wasn't quite as well tracked, and we had a little struggle getting down here, but eventually we made it after a few people got stuck, and I guess this adds to the Baja entertainment fun.
Yeah, sure.
So,
well, this trip we got, I don't know, I think there's nine vans, well, 7 vans, a Toyota, and then a Raptor, and nobody had any issues. You flew right up, and I think everybody aired down. So what'd you air down to?
25.
25?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that seemed to do okay.
Yeah.
With the weight too.
And then you got a house on the Pacific side?
Yeah. About 2 hours south of Ensenada, a smaller place on the beach. So oftentimes I don't bring the van down here because we're going to the house. Yeah. So on this side it's kind of nice to have the van and do the full experience with the van. And we got insurance on it all year this year, so I think we're going to come down and take advantage of our purchase this year and spend some time in the van.
Cool.
And honestly, the more times I come down with the van, the more comfortable I feel with it. At first I was a little ginchy with it being such a high profile vehicle and running down here, but it really is no issue.
And no problems with fuel, nothing.
No. Right? The little Agile plug here to the extended fuel tank is pretty huge.
Oh yeah.
700 miles out of your tank is a big difference down in this area. You've got no worries.
Yeah.
So,
and
it's just nice and secure.
Typically, staying to the roads down here, you should be okay though. Even if you had those, but then you can't go exploring. Like I think you went down with the guys from Touareg. You guys went in from Coco's Corner, and then you went all. What's the name of that place?
Calamaway.
Calamaway. Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah. I saw the pictures.
Great beach, but it was quite a ways out there in the dirt.
Yeah.
And you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
and then you guys went up Calamaway Wash, which when I raced down here, we call it Frog Canyon. A lot of water there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty.
It was beautiful. Yeah, a lot of water. Rough road though, and it is a little bit of a trek. So But there was others that didn't have the extended fuel tank, and they did okay. But it's getting fuel more than I did for sure. And just that, I don't know, back of my head. And if you're going anywhere by yourself, it's nice to have that extra in the bank.
So you're retired, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was a firefighter for 32 years, and retired about a year and a half ago, and getting pretty good at it.
How often do you find yourself in the van?
I can look at a little book and probably tell you, but I've been going a couple times a month. I mean, I took it out this winter a bunch, went skiing. I bought a pass because I've been working every year and didn't have, so I did 5 states in 20 days.
So you're set up, this thing's set up for the cold.
Yeah.
You ski, and then you come down here, and we were like, I don't think we were 100 degrees, but it was warm.
It was warm today.
Yeah, and it's, it's...
No AC, and I don't know, it's pre-wired for it. I could always throw it in. I haven't really had a need yet.
Yeah.
So far, so good. So
that's that area. I mean, we've got AC on ours, and there's been no reason for us to run it down here either.
Well, it's that thing where the minute you shut it off, you're back to zero again. It doesn't hold the cold air inside and give you any kind of lasting. You want the cold air blowing on you, but the minute you shut it off, it's kind of done. So
we're on the West Coast, so to speak. And we're looking east, and we actually see the sunrise up over the water. Yes. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Right? So you get that experience down here in the Sea of Cortez. It's pretty neat to experience a sunrise over water. It's like a totally different thing. So I got up, and I think you were out running at 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
How many miles do you think you did?
I did 6 this morning.
6? Okay.
But on the way back, about 20 minutes before I got back, you could feel the heat kicking on. So it was, I do it early.
Yeah.
But, I got to get it out.
So
of my
again, you're
system,
making us look bad. We hung out here, and then
only my ADD,
yeah. And then the tide came. The tide was coming in, and I think you and a few others aired up your paddle boards. So I think you have got onboard air on this.
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
Touareg supplies an onboard air.
Yep.
So you aired up a big paddle board.
Yep.
And
Wow.
then you guys took off, and I don't know, you maybe went up, half a mile up the coast a little bit. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, around the corner.
Yeah, around the corner.
The tide, and usually paddleboarding, it's the wind that you fight against, but the tide pulls pretty heavy in here. So it was kind of a neutral almost today between wind and tide. So first time I ever experienced that.
We went down all the off-road with us. We did 60 miles of dirt, no issues with this van, and it's a 170.
170, right?
And,
the only big kid in the group.
Here, yeah. And your tires aren't huge. They're like 265s. 265s, and you're running BFGs on some Black Rhino wheels, and no problems, right?
No,
takes you
no
everywhere.
issues. Yep, takes you everywhere. The 170, I've drugged my bumper a couple times. It's been about it. As far as a difference on lots of trips with the 144.
And I think you got a backwoods bumper on this, right?
Yeah. So I've drugged that a couple times, but that's been the only, as far as scar from a 170. On those same trips, people that had boxes on the back of their 144s that were mounted to the bumper.
You've been on those SOTs.
They were dragging them too, so that's about the difference, kind of thing. So
what's the favorite thing on your van?
I was always a fan from day. I ran into Touareg at Overland Expo, looked at a bunch of different vendors, and it was always coming back to them, kind of thing. And and the one thing that attracted me was the metal cabinets that they do inside. They're lighter. They don't creak or squeak or come loose. They're just a solid cabinet. They work great. I enjoy that a lot.
I actually like the way they look. They're not like squared off too, right? You look at some things and they're kind of like real, almost like industrial, right?
Yeah.
And these they have like softer edges on them.
Yeah,
nicer
nice
openings,
finish on them.
Nicer finish. Yeah.
Yeah, that in the fridge, and the layout in here, it's real open for us. It was a choice. It was my wife and I that travel in it, so for us, all we needed 2 seats, and we could have the rest of the open space inside for us.
Cool.
So
and then you guys sleep front to rear.
Yep.
Not side to side. Yeah,
side
you're what?
I'm 6'2" and a half or so a little tight even with a flare. It's there, but it's kind of head against each end. So that was many decisions when you build these things. You lose sleep over at night.
Yeah.
And that was one, and then the battery system was the other. How big to go and what you need, and
then you're 400 amp hours, which is a good sweet spot.
They were steering me towards 200. I spun around and eventually, settled on 400.
Well, I think
and
you
I'm happy
said,
I did.
I think you have batteries at your house down in place, so you kind of have experience with batteries.
Yeah,
you kind
I
of
used them
know.
before that.
Yeah.
So, but 400 was plenty, and you don't have to worry about it. And honestly, probably 200 would be great, but it's a little extra in the bank, and I don't have any. If someone needs to hook up an extra fridge, I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
When I first went to Overland, and even after I left Overland, I was set on a 144, and then this layout showed up on Touareg's site, and we really liked it, and it became the bikes and all the things we wanted to bring with us. I see the difference between 144 and 144. You have to have stuff hanging off or hanging around all kinds of places to make it work. A 170, everything fits inside here, and nothing's on the outside, and everything's got a place. There's just a lot of room.
Yours is kind of the stealthiest van that we have here. Everybody else is 144s.
Yeah.
Right. And if you look at all the other ones,
there's
stuff bolted on the outside. There's roof racks. I know. You don't even have a roof rack, right? Yeah.
So that was kind of the look we were comfortable with and wanted. I was on the 144 with the parking and all that stuff, and it's there's always trade-offs for the van situation whenever you build. And do you do an inside bathroom? Do you not? All those things. But the big is the parking lots. That's the place where you notice the 170. Other than that, you really don't notice the difference. But when you go in a parking lot, you got to plan your spot. And hang your butt over a sidewalk or something.
Do you find yourself backing into a lot of spots?
Yep, backing into spots.
I remember I had a Super Duty, And the only thing you could do with that damn Super Duty is you had to back it in. Going to Home Depot, you'd have to back it in because it's such a tight little radius.
Yep.
You had to pull in.
Yeah. So I drove fire trucks for a long time, so it didn't bug me to back something up. I was fine with it. But that if somebody's not real comfortable.
So
driving
what you're saying
big,
is this kind of separates them in from the boys when it comes to a parking lot, right?
Right.
170. This is a man's vehicle.
But honestly, that's the only time, I mean, it really is. And we found like in bigger cities or whatever, where parking's at premium, you park somewhere far away and you have your bikes in the back and you take a nice bike ride into town, and
that's true.
It really hasn't been an issue. So we're happy with our choice of the 170, and we'd probably do it again for sure.
Cool. Cool. It's been great. I'm glad I could share this spot with you. This is one of my favorite spots. And this weekend or today, we've had just amazing weather, and we're looking forward to a couple more days down here.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And the road in this time was a little better, so that helped. And, I've enjoyed this
and being
spot
prepared
too.
for it. Like you pre-ran it before, so you told us the line. Take that line. I think it's a little bit better. And sure enough, everything worked out really well. Everybody got up here great. Well, awesome. It's been great having you, and are looking forward to more trips too. So I appreciate it.